a sentimental mood. I can see the stars come through my room, while your loving attitude lights up a flame that lights the gloom on the wings of every kiss.
Right on the set.
Drifts up.
Welcome. It's Sunday afternoon, you guys. Can you believe it is the first Sunday of November? We only have 1 month left until 2019. You're here with Linda Morgan on Jazzabrations and Beyond, and my wonderful co-host,
Torré, Brannon, and Reese.
All righty, and we welcome you to Jazzabrations and Beyond today. What a wonderful day it is today.
I'm happy to be here. Watch that finger.
Oh, yes. We got a lot to talk about. We have some exciting things coming up this month. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to jump right into the I've Known Rivers Festival.
Yes, thank you so much. I am so excited. It's like that countdown time, you know.
Yes.
And we have about a week and a half left. We've been promoting for 6 months and working. I have a meeting after this radio show with some wonderful USC students, and they've all jumped in with me. We're looking at 3 days of music, arts, culture, education. We start at USC at the School of Social Work on Friday the 16th with a reception honoring my vocal group and two other wonderful people. One is Ben Caldwell, mm-hmm. who we affectionately call the godfather of Leimert Park, and another is Dr. Ernestine Thomas Robertson, who's a mentor of mine and many others, who's a great educator, great humanitarian, and deserves recognition. And so we're going to be there that night from 6 to 9 p.m. Doing our reception. And I'm very excited about it.
Well, definitely we want you to know about the I've Known Rivers Festival that's going down in Leimert Park. You can get your tickets on the website. Mm-hmm. You can go to Family Soul. FamilySoul.org. Y'all hit that website up for your tickets to the many locations that the films will be featured in over that 2-day weekend in Leimert Park. They're going to be at Barbara Morrison's. Right. They're going to be at
the World Stage, the Fernando Pullum Community Arts Center, mm-hmm. and Chaos Network.
And at Chaos.
Right. So, yeah.
So it's going to be a wonderful weekend, you guys. And this is his 7th year. I'm mm-hmm. so grateful to have his partner mm-hmm. that is so busy and is as busy as I am, mm-hmm. doing wonderful things for our children and for our community.
That's why we get along so good. We both know we're busy and crazy all over the place.
That's right. When I know my eyes is half closed because I was hanging out with me some Quincy Jones last night with the Regalettes.
Wow.
They celebrated their 60th anniversary at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And it's just amazing how, you just see people and you don't know how they're going to react to you. Mm-hmm. Quincy is the coolest dude ever.
Yeah.
He sat there and shook hands with everybody that wanted to shake his hand and take pictures with him. So, big ups to you, Q, in the house.
Q, I would love to meet him one of these days. I saw a documentary on his life. It's on Netflix right now. So,
and you know what? He's actually going to be honored again by the California, if they haven't already did it, I believe in April of next year. Mm-hmm. The California Jazz Foundation is honoring him.
Okay.
So definitely, I'll make sure that we're in the house on that one so that we can be up close and personal. Yeah, but this show today, we're going to be talking all about, the aspects of the I've Known Rivers Festival and how you started it and how, how it's progressed to these 7 years.
Well, thank you so much. I've never really had a chance to really talk about it at the level that I've always wanted to. It started because I had begun to collect films without even realizing I was doing it. I was just a person that loved to, for example, when Tony Brown's Journal would come on, I would make sure I had a VHS tape and stick it in the machine and copy tape, right? Just to have it so I could look at it later
on.
Show friends. And, after a number of years had gone by, movies, documentaries, concerts, anything that I was interested in, I would collect. And so, I said, well, I sure would love to share these with people. And so it's pretty much started out of my living room. I would invite people over to watch films.
Yeah, we all did that one Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. And so from there, it became an actual film festival. But what I did when I was doing the Malcolm X event, I would screen films at that event in the context of that event. And so I was always doing it, and I called it I Have Known Rivers, because I've always loved Langston Hughes and his poetry. And that line comes out of the Negro Speaks of Rivers poem that is purported to be his most famous poem. Mm-hmm. And one of the most important poems in American history, And so it's an everlasting tribute to him and his works. But each year we recognize others. And so this year I've added another component, which is called the Root Conference, at the intersection of race, culture, arts, politics, and leadership. And that conference really kicks off the festival on Saturday morning. It starts at about 9 a.m. and it goes to like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then the film screen. But at that conference, you can come and enjoy workshops. There's a workshop called Ain't I a Woman, which I may ask you to be on. The panel where, sisters speak about, they just tell their stories and how they overcame challenges and became who they are.
Wow, that'll be perfect, because I'll be coming back from Vegas from a 3-day workshop about telling your story.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So are you agreeing to be on the panel?
I'll be there, because it'll be my first, right off the fresh.
We got it live on film. She's going to be on the panel, so she can't backtrack. And other panel discussions about, black filmmakers and black sexuality, which is a huge issue right now. I can't remember all of the workshops, but it's going to be a dynamic conference that morning. That's going to open at the world stage. And then from there, we'll do breakout sessions to cover those different topics that I talked about. And then after the conference, films are screening all over the village. And live music, we have some fantastic young performers that we need to support. Young filmmakers showing their stuff, and old filmmakers doing their thing. So that's on Saturday. Got a great performer. His name is Wadada, who people may have heard of.
Yes, I've heard of him.
He's going to be doing this thing on Saturday. On Sunday, we have what we call a Black Family Fashion Show. And the way it's constructed is for what I call everyday people, like Sly said. So you don't have to be a professional model, like you and your son could be in that fashion show, and you guys just will walk and just wear what you love to wear. And that's how we're doing it. So
making it an interesting community type
involvement. Yeah, this whole festival is designed to intimately integrate into the community. The screens are set up in the world stage and all these different spaces where people may not ordinarily go. They might want to see a film that's screening in one of these spaces. So that's how it's done. So
it's going to be an incredible weekend. I've just committed to being on one of the panel discussions in the morning. Right. And so I'm so looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't know why it sounds like I'm going in and out, but it may be just the headphones. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, hopefully you can hear me good. And you can always call in and let us know what you're thinking. 323-293-3375. Me and Torré is here for you to take your questions. If you have any questions about the festival, how to get your tickets. Maybe what we'll do, we'll go take a break and we'll come back and we'll be able to put up the website and the flyer so that you can get some of the information off of it. Okay? We'll be right back with a commercial break. I'm your host.
Peace. I'm your co-host.
Linda Morgan and Torré.
All right.
See you right back.
Yes.
Welcome back. Welcome to Jazzabrations and Beyond. I'm here, your co-host, with my co-host, Torré. And as you saw, we put up the flyer for the I've Known Rivers Festival. Mm-hmm. You can go to fmalisoul.org. Mm-hmm. That is the website so that you can start purchasing your tickets now for this great event that's going to be, and it's a fundraiser. All the money that is raised for this event goes to help Torré with his programs for the young men and young ladies that he mentors out at Locke High School. Right. And you've been doing that for what?
I've been at Locke for 5 years.
5 years.
But we've been in the business of helping young people for 25 years.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so this is the holiday season, the season of giving. The time to take out your checkbooks and write some checks so you can write them off at the end of the year. So no amount is too small. You know, there's suggested donations for the tickets and the screenings. But, you know, have a heart, open your pockets, and come on and help support this wonderful cause that Torré is doing over the weekend.
Yes.
And if you like old classic movies and watching it with friends, will there be dialogue like we do at your house?
Without a doubt.
After each movie?
After most movies, the filmmakers who are there will conduct Q&A. And there'll be a lot of dialogue going on because people like to talk about what they've seen. Right. You know? And
it's an interesting mix when you have a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds and they see the movie and then you have this, everybody tells their perspective of what they thought or what they saw or how they feel or what was going on with them while they were in that time frame or so forth.
Yeah, so, it's like music. You know, you hear a song and it brings you right back to where you were when you met that first person or ran away from that person or whatever your situation may have been.
Yes.
You know, you see laughing. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Some singers up in here.
Yes, indeed. Those old songs, you know. we do a song in our show, Frankie and Johnny. And it's a love song, but it ain't the kind of love song you want to be singing.
Johnny Dollar. You don't talk about Johnny Dollar?
Yes, indeed.
Hey, Johnny Dollar. Tony keep on trying to get me to sing. I told him I'm not singing.
Oh, he's trying to get you.
I am not singing.
Yeah, you stand close to Tony, he's going to get you on that stage, boy. Yes,
well, so much for that, honey. But anyway, so I know the opening reception we talked about is going to be at USC School of Social Work.
Right.
How do you find? I mean, that's a private invite?
That was is it a private invite? You said? Mm-hmm. No, it's a public event. It might feel a little private because it's on that campus, and if you're not in the circles, you just have to kind of find out about it. But But it's a public event. Anybody can come, but it is not being pushed a whole lot because there's limited space and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, it is. If people want to go, they can just call, or they can email us, or go to the website and get a ticket because it is a
ticketed event.
Yeah,
so that is. And how much are those tickets for that?
That's $40.
$40
fundraiser.
Fundraising to go to the private reception, which is that Friday night at USC School of Social Work. Because y'all know that this work that Torré is doing is all about social, mental health, helping children to get through and navigate through life.
Plus, I'm a proud graduate of USC, so
big up.
There you go.
Proud graduate.
There you go.
And so he, in your social work that you do for the young boys in See a Man, Be a Man, are they going to be partaking in it?
Yeah, I'm going to actually have one of the young men to speak about his experiences in the program and about programs like this that can help to transform lives. He is now in college. He comes from a very hard life background, but with a little time spent with the right people around you, you can transform your life, and that's what he's doing. He actually published his own book at the age of 17.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, he just shocked everybody, but miracles happen when you know that somebody loves you.
When you got when you got great mentors around you, and that's one of the things. Aaron is every day. There's something. There's something new and exciting going on with him, my 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And so I just realized that he's motivated by money.
Okay.
And so coming to that realization, I told him, you give me A's, I'll give you $50.
Oh.
For every A, you give me $50.
How much money have you lost now?
So far, none, because it's only on this 20 week. I can't do it, all these little progress reports.
Oh, okay. So you every big report card.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So I got to be the 20 week and then the 40 week.
Well, that's a good motivator.
Oh, yes. So he has set up with his teachers, this one particular class with his English teacher. Well, he submits his work in a Google Drive.
Google Drive, good Lord.
He submits his work in a Google Drive to her and waits for her to accept it and grade it because she was always telling him he didn't turn in something. And so he said, no, we're not going to have this because if you say I don't turn in something, she gave him 4 zeros on something that was actually in the drive.
Whoa. Okay.
So when I I have a meeting to go with them on Tuesday. Aaron had to rename the file and let her know that it's been there this whole time. You haven't looked. So it was interesting that he came up with his own system to help him to achieve getting these A's. And I was like, do it, do it.
Well, see, he has that good parenting. So we had a situation where young men were not getting their weekly grades. So what we found out is that teachers were not turning in grades. Teachers were not doing their jobs. So we had to not attack, but we had to address the entire system. There are students who don't have the kind of backing that your son has from you, and they just fall through the cracks, and they're frustrated or they don't think the teacher likes them. And then they look up and it's like, okay, you got like 3 weeks to bring your grade up or you're not going to, traverse to the next grade. But the great thing about us being there is that we can kind of check some of these things, and make sure that teachers are doing their job too.
Correct, because and it's so unfortunate, but you think that if parents are not engaged, they're doing their children a disservice because you need to have parent intervention when you're dealing with teachers. Teachers are not always 100% right. Neither are the parents and neither are the children. So the check and balances with me is making sure that all 3 of us hold each other accountable. Because if I'm not doing my part and Aaron's not doing his part and the teacher's not doing their part, then we got a broken system. And so you have to make sure, and I'm just so passionate about this because I don't understand how parents are not engaged in these kids' lives.
Well, some people are able to have children, and that's the easy part. It's easy to
make them.
To make them, But, raising them the right way, that's another level of understanding and commitment and consistency and all that stuff. And that's just the way it is. I mean, if you're not going to be engaged and totally engaged in your children's lives, maybe you shouldn't have had children.
That's right. And then, even don't let them off that easy just because you had them and you think you can't be engaged. No, you need to get engaged. Because you done now made the child. It's not the child's fault that you produced them and now you don't want to be in. If you don't want to have them, I mean, I can go on a soapbox about this one. Get rid of them. Give them to somebody else.
Well,
then.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I want you to visit my class.
I do.
Now, last week I asked the kids, how many of you have a close relative incarcerated? I had about 15 to 16 kids in the classroom. Only one didn't raise their hand.
Wow.
And then I asked them, how many of you guys have a father at home when you go home today? And 2 of them raised their hand. So that's about 90%, 85, 90% of the kids who have people incarcerated who are close to them and who don't have a father at home. And that father may be a quote-unquote stepfather or a friend of their mother's, right? So I don't know what you want to call that. I don't know if you want to call it genocide, if you want to call it, lack of caring, whatever it is. The children are suffering because our families are not functioning the way that they should.
Right.
And these are all young men who are in the class. They obviously want to learn. They want to be something. But if nobody's reinforcing positive things to them, then, who's to blame them for their behavior, right?
Right.
Now, what I didn't say is that the conference we're doing in that morning is going to be keynoted by Taisha Noyes, who's the vice principal at Locke High School, a sister who was born and raised right here in the jungle, but who wound up getting her graduate degree from, I think it was Yale, and who came right back to the neighborhood.
Earn, learn, and return.
And return. And that's what she's doing. So she's going to talk about the state of black education, the state of education, particularly as it pertains to black youth in America. And I think people are going to be enlightened. She really knows what she's doing. She's working on her doctorate degree right now.
And that's true because you have to have some sort of structure. And I know that all family lives are not, a 2-parent household. Right. Because even I, with my single family home, Aaron's dad is, he's there on the sidelines, picking up the slack on the sidelines. Because you get ready, bro, because you're going to pay for this college.
Oh,
so
you put that on?
Get ready.
Is it still filming out there?
Absolutely. This is live and 100%.
You don't want to tell him that.
Oh, no. He knows it. I mean, he's on the sideline because we don't live together. We haven't been together for years, but he's engaged in his son's education and making sure that he is going the way that he should go, So it takes a village to raise a child and to make sure that they are going the way that they should go. And they need encouragement. We need encouragement sometimes, even as adults. Yeah. So I can see how hard it could be for, parents. And I just want to reach out to sisters that maybe that's my work, my social work that I've never, when I was in a ministry of single moms when I was in this one church. And, just to be able to give an ear to a single mom who's going through whatever she's going through, to be able to help her navigate through some of the issues with school. Because LAUSD is a big chunk of navigation that you really have to be in it. Engaged, yeah. Be engaged and to make sure that you are navigating for your child. Because if you don't, then they suffer. And then that's why our kids are dropping out and going into gangs and going into other family units because they embrace them.
4 young ladies came to our program, and the program is not even, See a Man, Be a Man is for boys. But these girls had been hearing about what we had been doing, so they came over to our offices, and then they stopped me in the hallway, and they were like, when are you going to start a program for us? When are you going to start? I'm like, and they were like, at me, right? And I said, we have Princess the Queen, and it's starting in January. Do you guys want to be in a program? Yeah, but. I was like, but what? But you don't want them boozy women coming, they don't understand us. We don't want them talking over our heads, They were like, and they were serious. They were like, if they don't understand us, then that's a waste of time. Don't send them in there. And I assured them that the women that I'm going to bring are going to be women who...
You better believe I'm down to earth, young ladies.
Right,
So
there
y'all
you go.
get ready.
Right.
When Torré show you this program, you can look me up on Facebook. I'm down to earth. I'm 100%, and I am real, and I will keep it real with you too.
Okay. That's what they
I cannot
want.
wait because I want to be involved in some young women's lives. I want to manifest some success. And then, ooh, did you hear that?
Manifest success.
Some success.
I'll take that. I like that.
So that I could see a little Linda
I'm gonna
that
show you.
I've poured my heart and soul and money and work and earnings into. How about that? That's what I want to do.
Well, they are ready for you. I'm going to see if I can pull up a photo of this
Princess
young lady. Princess to Queen.
to Queen.
Here they go. These are the 4 that stopped me.
Oh, Sookie now. Y'all
And
get
that
ready.
one there, whew.
Get ready.
See
What's
what-
their names? I'm going to shout them out.
You know what? If I don't have the names.
Okay, we can't shout y'all out. We're gonna know y'all names. Maybe we can bring them on in
We could-
December show to get ready
I think
for
we should
Prince.
have a good show. We should
Yes.
have a show like that.
Bring them on and let them see and talk to me and get familiar with me before January so that we can have a working relationship before.
Right. And they will inspire other young ladies to get involved. You know?
Exactly.
Like they're in the 12th grade, so they're ready to get up out of there, and they want to be, pointed in the right direction.
Right.
And there's a lot of resources out here, and if young people meet us halfway, we can do a whole lot. They're already stepping up to the plate, so meeting you and women like you, that'll only help them. So
Absolutely. And I got a village of old seasoned veteran women who just sit at home and watch TV who can come on out. Okay, my
Oh, no,
background audience. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. I'm going to put up something. We're going to talk about voting. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is voting. So Proposition 10 is a big issue here in California. All over the world may not be an issue to y'all, but y'all got your own props in your own states. But ours right now is Prop 10.
Prop 10,
So
we need that one.
We'll be right back. I'm your host, Linda Morgan.
co-host Torré Brannon.
Torré Brannon. We'll be right back, y'all.
All right.
Welcome back, you guys, to Jazzabrations and Beyond. I'm your host, Linda Morgan.
I'm not hearing anything.
And my co-host, Torré Brandon Reese. We not hearing anything?
But that's all right. I can.
You can hear? Okay,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
And so, voting is important. We all know that November the 6th is on Tuesday. A lot of hot topics. Around the country, they have some more heated races than we have here,
Yes.
on the gubernatorial level. Stacey Abrams, go Stacey.
Yes.
Go Gilliam.
Gilliam down in Florida.
Get them. First
Yeah.
blacks, make it go.
Make it happen.
Go.
Make it
I'm
happen.
for you. Y'all do what y'all need to do in Florida and Georgia.
Right.
Here we have Gavin Newsom running against. I'm not sure who he's running against. Who is Gavin Newsom running against?
Don't even matter.
He's gonna win.
Yeah.
So Gavin Newsom, but then we have
He made it through. So.
Marshall Tuck
Marshall Tuck.
and Thurman. There's some disparity there. We got to really drill down and see who's the best candidate. In terms of superintendent for schools, because that's important to both of us, being that we are, in the schools. Me with Aaron in high school and you at Locke. But this Proposition 10 came up, and I had Pastor Sauls on last month, the fourth Sunday of the month, and he drilled down and went into details because I was telling him, they're telling me as a veteran to say no on 10.
Say no on Prop 10.
And he was like, that's the misleading information about Prop 10. You got to read and see who's sponsoring it, where the money, follow the money, and it will tell you who's making all the dust about it. And so it's these rich development companies that are saying no because they don't want to be told to make affordable housing for low income.
Right.
So, of course, they're going to kick up the dust. They said it don't have nothing to do with rent control and homeowners, how they plan it out. And so I'm in favor and leaning towards yes on Prop 10.
Okay.
And, there's so many other ballots on there that if you don't read it for yourself, but there's also little guides that you get from, people you're supposed to trust. Auntie Maxine has hers, and the Democratic Frontier Democratic Club.
Frontier Democratic Club. Okay.
They have their pick. Natalie Cole from Our Weekly, she put out her pick. So you can always line up all these and see which ones everybody agree on. And then those two or three that are different, then that's your personal. You could take your own personal choice by looking at those and saying, hey, okay. So if the majority is going one way, I can pretty much feel great about following that.
Okay, yeah. That's what I usually do. I mean, there are people that we have come to trust and depend on, like Maxine Waters and others. So, even if it's not 100% of what you want, you could at least know that, probably 80 to 90% of it is going to be in your favor to vote in that manner.
Correct.
What I'm concerned about is young people who don't see the need to vote. And even some older people. It's not just young people.
Right.
There are some people who, and they have reasons that are understandable because it's so confusing, that they get tired of the whole process and the argument about it, and that's why it's important to teach the history of why we even, vote these days, and there's a couple of documentaries and a movie, about the civil rights movement and about the struggles that we went through to even get the right to vote. And knowing that came out of slavery in 1865, we still didn't have the right to vote. Many
Correct.
Of us. And those of us who did oftentimes were terrorized into not voting.
Correct.
So it's been a struggle.
And
that's been
still
going on for
to the
100
day.
years, over 100 years.
Right. We're still intimidated about voting, And a lot of people don't understand that you're right, the whole process of voting and why we should vote. And it was interesting. Our pastor today did a whole little sermon on voting and took it back to biblically through scriptures in the Bible about why you need to vote. I didn't record it. I don't think neither one of y'all did either. But the details of it is you don't think about an issue until it affects you. If you have a pre-existing condition medically, and you was getting help for that condition when Obama was president, and then now 2 years later, you go to the doctor and the doctor says, I'm sorry, that's not covered. Well, that's the president rolling back those laws that was put in effect by the previous administration. So if you don't vote to correct that or to stop the idiots that's in office that's doing it, then you are part of the problem, your own problem, because you have the pre-existing condition that you're not even voting and fighting about. If you want to break it down to the simplest terms for people to understand, just think in terms of your health. What services were you receiving 2 years ago that you're no longer receiving? Or you was told that you can't have them, or you can't go see the doctor on them no more.
Right.
That's what happens way up here, but it happens in the ballot booth because those in charge start making the decisions.
Right. It's just, the whole thing of it is that understanding how this country operates and understanding the concept of capitalism is critical. And when we're teaching, and even in the program to young people, we have to teach them from a macro point of view so that they understand how things operate.
Right.
And if you understand capitalism, you understand that essentially anything and everything that politicians do has something to do with money. And if it's not in their favor, then they're against it.
Correct.
And even in the beginnings of the so-called struggle for freedom, the Emancipation Proclamation, for example, the Emancipation Proclamation issued in 1863 did not free all slaves. And even the slaves that it freed, it did not outlaw slavery as a law.
Correct.
So,
even to this day, right?
Even to this day. But I'm saying, if you didn't study and understand what was going on, you thought that, okay, I'm just free, everything is cool, I can go out. No. Then they had a period called Reconstruction from 1866 to 1867, where we made some strides in society. In Louisiana, we had more people in Congress than any other state in the Union. But at the end of the day, those gangs were rolled back, as you just used that term today. Those same things were happening back then because there were people who benefit from your subjugation. And so you have to understand that if you're a quote-unquote marginalized person, they're not just black, but anything else that's considered different or off the beaten path. So it's critical to engage yourself and study for yourself. Don't just say, I won't vote.
Right.
So if you're not voting, what else are you doing?
Right. Your vote counts. Right. Your vote matters.
But let's say that, what happened in the last election pissed a lot of people off, right? But it did come down to the vote because if more people would have voted, it wouldn't have even been as close as it was. Correct. Not to say that Hillary was right about everything or she was the perfect candidate, because she certainly wasn't the perfect candidate. Because I was actually, for Bernie myself. But when that didn't happen, boom. But at the end of the day, he got 3 million less votes than she did. Trump did. But by virtue of an edict that was put in place during slavery, the Electoral College, he gets in and becomes president.
Right.
But if he would have got stomped, like just wiped out, there wouldn't have been the Electoral College wouldn't have been a consideration.
Right. So every vote, and that's what my point is. Every single vote counts.
It does count.
Even when you don't think that your vote counts. It matters because the numbers. It's all about numbers.
Right.
And the more people that show up, the more people can make decisions about different things. If you stay home, don't complain. I wish there was a way that they just blasted all the people who didn't vote. Just put them out there, just so that when they come complaining to you about something, look, get out my face. You're part of the problem. You didn't even take the time to vote. So why are you talking all loud on TV or all on the radio, on the news, whatever it is? Because you got some of them up there that on air.
That's how even the Black Panther Party, as much as they were about, doing their own thing and advocating for the rights of people in the streets, quote unquote, Bobby Seale ran for president of Oakland. People don't know that. He ran for, not president, but for mayor of Oakland. I think it was 1971, 72. And so even they understood that, okay, we're doing all this activism, we're doing the Black Power stuff and all that, but then we got to be a part of the system also.
Right.
We have to fight from within the system to change the system also.
Correct.
While we're advocating on the outside, trying to change the system from the outside. So it's no one way to do things. Malcolm X said you got to fight on all fronts.
Correct.
You don't have the luxury of doing just one thing. You know?
No.
So if you're not voting, then what else are you doing?
Right.
Complaining?
Right.
Ignoring the situation? You know what I'm saying?
You know, and even for me, I thought about, because I got a good friend with initials MS. And she's right now.
Multiple sclerosis? No, just joking. Mississippi.
She right now working the polls.
All right.
And that's something that I've never thought about doing. Or
my mom does that every year.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a part of being an active. My in studio guest, please. Thank you for your commentary. But to even take it to that level of involvement, where you are there stomping on the telephones, calling people. If you're not going to vote, just go be part of the process. Go do some phone banking. Call local politicians and say, where can I come to make phone calls, or where can I go to knock on doors? I wish I would have been there with, what's his name? The one who, Norman Lear was stomping for Andrew Gilliam. Now, this is a man who created All in the Family.
All those TV shows, right? Sanford and Son?
Yes.
Yeah.
In Florida, stomping for Andrew Gilliam. And he said, he said, I've known this man for more than 25 years, and I know his character. And I know what this other one's character is, so I know the difference in the two.
Yeah. So,
that kind of involvement of Oprah going to Georgia.
Obama.
Yeah, Obama. Celebrities like that. But just take it back to your own local community heroes. All the jazz legends, all the blues legends should be walking. Should be out helping to get the vote out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That should be a part of our community activism during this heightened season of rocking the vote, November the 6th.
Yeah, well, we saw what happened at the funeral of Aretha Franklin, where, when most people came to the podium, they talked about her music, but most of them talked about her activism, how involved she was, how engaged she was, how she was so concerned about community. Once you make enough money, like, okay, what else are you going to do with your life?
Right.
Now it's time to help somebody.
Right. Give back.
Yeah. So
reach back and pull a few people with you. And that's one of the things that George Fraser talks about: learning, earning, and returning back to your community. Because if we don't come back and take care of our own communities, who is going to take care of our communities? We have to be the advocates to come back with the information to help build up our own communities.
Going back to the event that I'm doing, I don't just like doing events just for the sake of doing them. I like to have a means to an end. So in addition to the fact that it's a fundraiser for a program that helps young people, there are themes that kind of guide the festival. And on Friday night at USC, the theme is Here I Stand. And Here I Stand is the title from a book written about the life of Paul Robeson. And if you know anything about Paul Robeson, he was a great artist. He could act, he could sing, he could speak different languages. But at the same time, he was a greater humanitarian than anything else. So we're charging artists and athletes with the responsibility of their fame. Like, once you become well known and you open your mouth and say something, people listen. Even if you say the wrong thing, like Kanye West, right? People are listening to you. So what are you going to do with that notoriety you have? Right. So we're saying, hey, like myself, I'm an artist. Essentially, if you ask me what I am, probably the first thing out of my mouth is I'm an artist. I'm a singer. I dance. I do poetry. I write. But aside from the art, like, what does your art mean? What is it being produced for? What is the reason behind it? Right. And Du Bois, who is another person that we're honoring with that conference, because the theme of that is the souls of black folk, and that's the book he wrote in 1903. He was also an artist. He was a poet, playwright and all of that. But he's more well known now, just as Robeson is, for the activism and humanitarian.
that they did in their life. That's true.
Yeah, so we got to do more than just talk and run and play and stuff like that.
And it's interesting that you say that because a friend of mine is named Trevor Oz. Hey, Trevor, shout out. Black and influential. Mm-hmm. If you see on my Facebook, I have that on my cover. Mm-hmm. The influence of us is wide and deep. And we don't take it to the level of making sure that influence means something. Mm-hmm. And he's having a conference and all that, in February. But it's just, this is a young brother that's just calling a consciousness of us to make sure that we are being influencers in the right ways. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely want him to know about I've Known Rivers for next year so that he could come out here and help put together some awareness that's international and world renowned and, and spreads across the country so that we can have, people coming from all over the world next year. Mm-hmm. For the 8th year, we're going to kick it off real big. We're going to make it international. I'm putting it out there in the universe now that it's going to be an international I've Known Rivers Film Festival. Okay,
so you're officially on the board of directors for the So I got two things for her. On the panel and on the board.
Every time I open my mouth, I'm getting into more trouble.
The more she talks, the more work we're going to give her. But I appreciate you.
It's just that, you put the vision out there and then you work towards it. That's just the way that I operate. And so I'm seeing that vision. I'm seeing the women's work in January. Be a queen, princess. To queen. Because you can't just be a queen.
People try to use the see a man, be a man, but princess, the queen thing. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to take these little princesses, and they're going to start in 9th grade?
Yes.
So they're going to start in 9th grade, and we're going to groom them and raise them through 12th grade. And we're going to make sure that they have what they need to do to be a queen when they graduate at their prom time. Mm-hmm. I've already got my girls. Candy Lewis, get ready, girl, because we're going to be calling you Positive Results.
Candy, I used to work with up there.
Yes.
But with the boys. She used to come in and do a little thing with the boys.
Positive Results. Yeah. And then my other girl, Nina Hayworth, she's going to give away all the bling-bling for their prom. We're going to do all that. So I got all that in the background in my head already swimming around.
That's it.
So I'm excited.
Right here on the spot.
Yes. So you guys, we are here only on the 2nd and 4th Sundays of the month. We didn't have anyone calling in because I forgot to post about y'all the show today because
That's right. It'll be archived.
That's right. You can always share. Mm-hmm. Share this with your friends. Mm-hmm. Share this out for us. We missing you, Felicia. Mm-hmm. Today here, we rolling though with our boy in the studio, our rocking engineer, LaRon Davidson. Thank you.
LaRon.
Always for being here with us on these Sunday afternoons. So if you could put up that I've Known Rivers Festival again flyer again it's not next weekend.
Weekend after the next.
2 weeks from now, you guys. Mm-hmm. I'd like for you to go hit the website FAMLISOUL.org and buy some tickets. Even if you can't come, just do some donations. On behalf of me, Linda Morgan, asking you as a friend to donate to this worthy cause to help our young men be
that they can be.
Right. Helping them to just be what they can be through the program. And if you want to know any more about the program, hit us up on the Facebook page and ask for more information, and we will definitely give that information to you. But the website, again, is familysoul.org. Go there, hit it. I'd like to see the website crash today if possible. Everybody just hit it. All my friends, if you're out there, just hit it for me one time and leave a comment. Let me know. I'm trying to see how much influence I have. So only way that I'm going to know the influence that I have is that some action is taken after I say something. So that's how influence works.
Yes.
You say something and then somebody takes an action.
Something happens.
And so if you want to be a part of this, I've Known Rivers Festival is going on here in Leimert Park here we're right over here between 43rd and 43rd Place, Crenshaw, and Leimert Boulevard. That's our little Leimert Park Village for you all over the world who don't know where it is. But just Google Leimert Park Village, and you will find us. The World Stage, Fernando Pullum's Art Center, Barbara Morrison's Performing Arts Center, and these are the places and the spaces within our little village here in Leimert Park that will be showing, and we'll be having all of the events. So we look forward to an amazing.
And anybody who wants to volunteer, there's still time for them to volunteer. They can send an email to us at familysoul.com. No, familysoul@gmail.com.
Familysoul@gmail.com is the email if you'd like to volunteer to be able to help in this work. Because it takes workers. It takes a village to put on this kind of amazing events. And you guys know the amount of work it takes to put things together. So if you're out there, you don't have anything you want to do for that weekend, come on and be a part of it. And lend us your hand and help out with the festival. But, so we've been here chomping it up and talking about it. And again, it's November 16th, 17th, and 18th. That Friday is going to be out at USC. That's a reception out at the School of Social Work. And that's that Friday evening.
That's correction. Suzanne DeWark Peck School of Social Work, the lady who gives $60 million.
Ooh.
So they changed the name to reflect that donation. She did that 2 years ago. So it's the Suzanne DeWark Peck
School of Social Work.
Yeah, right there on the campus of USC.
And they are building so many things on USC. It's amazing.
Yeah,
they're taking up all the property going down King.
Yeah, they got money over there. Well, parking is normally $12. We are working on that to make sure that it's at least affordable or either free. So we'll have enough.
Y'all better Uber, Lyft,
there you go.
Catch a Uber, catch a Lyft there. There's a number 881. Go right down Figueroa. Save your money. Put that $12 on something else. Uber, Lyft. Don't worry about parking. Don't worry about driving.
No, are you going to help honor the group that night? Stand up there and MC a little bit? Because I can't do it.
I could. I guess so. On point.
I mean, if you're there, I probably would call you anyway. Like, hey, Linda, come up. Since this is
honey, did you put that on your calendar Friday night?
By Jove, I've got it, actually.
Okay.
How you say, old chap?
Well, we thank y'all for rolling with us.
We got to put them on film. We got to put them up here.
I know it.
Because they be having fun.
I know it. Why don't y'all come on over here? Y'all in the studio audience, come on over here and say goodbye to our listening audience.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our family.
Come on, Joycelyn and Mr. Tony Sam.
Can we say
ouch? Oh. This is our in-studio guest who's always here with us every week. Honey, you got to come over here by me.
There you go. She's going to, yeah.
What?
There you go.
Oh, there we
all right.
go.
Oh, my goodness.
These are the co-hosts for real.
Right. They're in studio with us every week as we do this work. And I'd just like to say thank you guys for being here to support us on this hourly show. And when you get back to your Facebook, you guys show it, share it. Share it with your friends because now you own it.
Happy trail to you.
Why don't y'all give me some go out music, the two of you?
Are you still there?
What are we going to do?
Yes.
Again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
I don't know the rest of that song. I kind of remember some about it.
No, you won't leave me.
There you go.
Well, thank you guys again.
It's our pleasure.
Thanks.
It's been our pleasure to be here working this out for you guys on this Sunday afternoon. I'm your host, Linda Morgan, and my co-host,
Torré, Brannon,
Jazzabrations and Beyond.
Love.
Until the fourth Sunday, have a great Sunday, you guys.
All right.
Oh, I'll go home and look.
In a sentimental mood, I can see the stars come through my room. seem to fall, it's all like a dream to call you mine. Ooh, my heart's a lighter thing since you made this night a thing divine. In a sentimental mood, I'm within a world so heavenly, and I never dreamt that you'd be loving sentimental.